I decorated houses for every villager in Happy Home Paradise. Why? I don't know, to see if weird things happen. And to my surprise, weird things did happen. The process of making villager houses as fast as possible is simple enough. Pick a client off of the beach, give them the minimum amount of effort possible, and then move on to the next one. The process is short and frankly not all that interesting in and of itself. But with over 400 villagers in the game, it still took over a week to finish. And by the end, I noticed some weird stuff happening. First off, the beach is eerily empty once you've exhausted all the clients to make houses for. That's to be expected though. However, the restaurant and cafe does still have guests, although entirely populated with villagers that you've already worked with, instead of normally being a mix of villagers with vacation homes and some without. However, not every villager that I made a house for was found on the beach. There are some restrictions on which villagers can appear. Villagers who live on your island can't show up without inviting them via souvenir chocolates. Sanrio villagers won't show up without summoning them via amiibo, and finally, villagers who are in your move-in queue also won't show up either. But what is a move-in queue? Put simply, a move-in queue is a set of villagers that the game reserves for moving into any open plot that you have on your island. It can be a max of 4 villagers, and figuring out who's in your move-in queue is quite hard to do without extensive testing. Move-in queue villagers won't appear on Mystery Islands or on the Happy Home Paradise Island as we've already stated. So if you want to figure out who's in your move-in queue, good luck, because both of those methods are going to take a long time. So I had gone to the point where I had no longer had clients to make houses for, and I pulled up a checklist and crossed off villagers who I already made houses for. After doing that, I was left with one villager, Axel. He was the only villager who I had not made a house for, wasn't on my island, and was not a Sanrio villager, meaning that he must be the only villager in my move-in queue. I sacrificed Antonio for the sake of testing, and sure enough, there he was. That's an A. That is an X right there. That is an X. Is there any other AX villager? I don't think so. Axel. Okay. Perhaps not surprisingly either, Antonio was on my beach the same day that Axel moved in. Yeah, yep, there he is. That's not the only interesting thing I found while doing this, though. There's another weird thing that happened that I don't have an answer for. Towards the end of the challenge, at about 360-ish villagers completed, I noticed a strange trend that was happening. It started first with horses, then sheep, and then squirrels. I was getting a lot of the same villager species in a row. Squirrels were especially noticeable, as 8 of my last 11 villagers ended up being Carolyn, Static, Sylvana, Filbert, Callie, Ricky, Sally, and Hazel. The first 6 of those happening in order, which when there's over 400 villagers in the game can't be a coincidence. And I really don't see a reason why this happens. Searching online turned up no results, and asking around hasn't helped either. Even as of uploading this video, I have no idea. So let me know in the comments if you guys know what's going on. Some of you might be curious as to how much Poke I've made doing all of these houses. By the end of it all, I was making 30,000 Poke per house. Though throughout most of the challenge, I was making 20,000, but even that left us with a total of 7.4 million Poke, which, if you can spare the effort to convert all of that to bells, can range between 14.8 million bells minimum to 22.2 million with maximum conversion rates. Which goes to show that making homes in Happy Home Paradise is a pretty good way of making money. But all in all, I was a little bit disappointed that the game seems to have no special surprise for people who complete houses for all 413 villagers. Just an empty beach, a big bank account, and a sense of dread as you wonder what better things you could have done with your time. Bye!